It has been yet another deadly night of escalation in the Russia-Ukraine war, as the battlefield witnesses volatile attacks, leaving several dead and injured in just a span of 24 hours. Ukraine also has made an explosive claim. North Korean missile unit deploying in Russia for the Ukraine war, according to Kyiv. What are the implications? What's happening behind the scenes? What's brewing? And what is the strategy looking like on the two sides? Is Putin trying to exploit Ukraine's weaknesses, and what are they? And why North Korean missile units in the first place? To answer that, we have to first look at the context. And before that, have a quick look at what things have been looking like at the battlefield. Russia fired dozens of ballistic missiles at Kyiv and the surrounding region, killing at least 17 people, destroying warehouses and logistics centers of major retailers, according to Ukrainian officials, in fact. Multiple explosions ripped through the area during the night, and fires lit up the dark skies over the Ukrainian capital, which has come under missile attack every few days in recent weeks as Russia escalates its air war. In fact, Russia has said that it struck 7 logistics centers in Kyiv and the surrounding region overnight, used to, according to it, store or distribute dual-use goods and drone components, and that its forces had hit 3 cargo ships in the Black Sea. Meanwhile, Ukrainian drones have attacked at least 20 warehouses belonging to Russia's biggest e-commerce retailer, Wildberries, according to it, since 18 July, destroying a number of them while also continuing to strike Russian oil refineries. Kyiv says it is bringing the war home to ordinary Russians and seeking to raise the cost for Moscow of continuing this conflict. In a major development, the head of a Russian drone factory was reportedly seriously injured and his driver killed when their car was blown up in what appeared to be the latest in a series of targeted attacks linked to the war. In fact, the state news agency TASS cited a source in the emergency services as saying that the head of that company was in intensive care and that medics were fighting for his life. Remember, Russia has blamed Ukraine for a string of previous such cases involving senior military officials and people linked to Moscow's war efforts as well. Ukraine has claimed responsibility for some attacks while denying blame for the others. That's what's happened earlier. Both Russia and Ukraine also deny targeting civilians in the war. As Kyiv aims to bring the war back to Russia, Ukraine also hit a logistics hub of the Russian online retailer Wildberries overnight as well, adding to more than a dozen it has claimed to damage recently. Meanwhile, in the midst of these volatile developments, according to a Reuters report, an official at Ukraine's military intelligence agency has said a North Korean missile unit has begun deploying to Western Russia and could be equipped with 120 ballistic missiles and 6 launchers for strikes against Ukraine. The deployment described by the official cited in that report appears to coincide with Russia last week firing its first 2 North Korean missiles at Ukraine since last August. So that's the context here. In fact, Russia has fired scores of North Korean ballistic missiles at Ukraine since late 2023. But the deployment of the North Korean missile forces would be an expansion of the already extensive military cooperation between Russia and North Korea. What are the implications of this? Ballistic missile defense is one of Ukraine's greatest vulnerabilities. So any increase in the quantities of the ballistic missiles they face will pose a greater challenge. A particularly big concern for Ukraine will also be the state of its air defenses when Russia could, in the winter, again target the power grid with heavy attacks. In the latest, in fact, Ukraine's Air Force saying it shot down majority of the drones fired by Russia overnight, but the preliminary data from the Air Force showing it was unable to shoot down any of the missiles. So that's the other challenge here. Kyiv can intercept the vast majority of drones, but still relies on supplies from allies to counter missiles. So is Putin trying to make the most of Ukraine running very short on high-end air defenses? Remember, Russia has tried to exploit this by using more ballistic missiles, which are particularly hard to shoot down. In fact, for months now, Ukraine has suffered from a critical shortage of air defense missiles for US Patriot systems, the only weapon in its arsenal capable of actually downing Russia's ballistic missiles, which travel at many times the speed of sound. And since the Iran war broke out as well, Patriots earmarked for Ukraine have reportedly been diverted to the US military and US allies in West Asia. Russia, meanwhile, has intensified its ballistic strikes on Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities as it advances on the front line, have also slowed considerably this year. Also, the big question here is why North Korean missile units? What's the story there? And what's in it for Russia? Simply put, it has been pointed out in that Reuters report that North Korea's KN-23 and KN-24 missiles have a greater range and larger payload than Russia's equivalent, but are much less accurate reportedly and have been linked to strikes with high civilian death tolls, according to the Ukrainian military sources in that report. The report saying the use of these missiles fits a pattern. Basically, Russia trying to use more ballistic missiles that can only be stopped by US-made Patriot air defense systems. The report says Russia began firing KN-23 and KN-24 missiles at Ukraine towards the end of 2023. And according to the official in that report, from Ukraine's main Directorate of Intelligence, North Korea supplied 150 of the missiles between the end of 2023 and August 2025, who reportedly also said there were around 9,500 North Korean troops in Russia's Kursk region, which borders Ukraine, but they were not currently directly involved in the military operations against Ukraine. Let's also tell you what Zelenskyy had said just last month. He said the Kremlin wanted North Korea to send another 30,000 troops, he claimed, and that Russian preparations were underway to receive them. Will the latest round of the escalatory developments trigger deadlier consequences than before? What about the peace talks? Trump had promised he could end the war in a matter of days. It's been months, and both sides continue to go down that dangerous path of escalation. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz following the Iran crisis reshaped global energy markets. With one of the world's most important oil shipping routes disrupted, crude prices surging above $126 a barrel before remaining elevated through the second quarter. Consumers faced higher fuel energy bills. The world's largest oil companies reported some of their strongest quarterly earnings in years. According to Guardian analysis, 8 major oil companies generated nearly $93 billion in combined profits during the April to June quarter, almost double the level recorded a year earlier. The energy sector has emerged as the biggest earnings winner of the Iran war. Saudi Aramco reported the biggest quarterly profit at $32.69 billion. That's up 44% year on year. ExxonMobil posted $14.5 billion, its highest quarterly profit in 4 years. Chevron earned $12 billion, marking its strongest quarter in 6 years. Shell, meanwhile, reported nearly $10 billion in earnings. BP's profit more than doubled. Total Energies, meanwhile, recorded a 67% jump in earnings. Analysts say the profit surge was basically driven by higher crude prices, stronger refining margins, and increased demand for non-Gulf supplies as buyers looked for alternatives. The gains for oil companies have come as households at the same time have been grappling with rising fuel costs. Petrol prices in the US, for example, have averaged above $4 a gallon, nearly 40% higher than pre-war levels. While UK fuel prices have reached record highs, FactSet data showing the energy sector recorded a massive earnings growth, the strongest of any S&P 500 sector. The record profits have also triggered political scrutiny. US President Donald Trump, remember, accused companies of making too much money from the supply shortage and urged them to lower retail fuel prices. Meanwhile, climate campaigners argue that the industry's windfall highlights the need for greater investment in clean energy and stronger taxes on excess profits. But will that happen? Let's now get you some offbeat stories. Science fiction promises eternal life, but new research showing biology has drawn a hard line. Even if we cure every major disease as such, human lifespan has a strict biological limit. According to advanced mathematical modeling, the human body has a hard cap of 194 years. Our next report explores the findings of the latest scientific study.
Imagine a world where every disease is cured, organs are repaired, aging is controlled, the body is kept in perfect shape. Even then, death still arrives. Yes, medical science has made rapid progress. By combining robotics and artificial intelligence, doctors are able to diagnose and heal faster. While modern medicine turns fatal illnesses into long-term survivable lives, conditions like late-stage cancer, Alzheimer's, and major neurodegenerative disorders still lack a permanent biological cure. So, with the future advancements, how long can a human being live? Well, scientists using a mathematical model assumed all reversible hallmarks of aging were eliminated. Only one factor remained: somatic mutations, the random DNA changes that accumulate over time. According to a study conducted by a team at the Skolkovo Institute of Science and Technology in Russia, under those ideal conditions, the model predicted a median human lifespan of 146 to 194 years. The researchers wrote that DNA mutations, especially in non-renewing cells like heart muscle cells and neurons, become the final barrier. These latest findings matter for two reasons. First, it tempers the dream of immortality. Second, it points to where future therapies must aim. If somatic mutations are the final wall, then preventing or repairing those errors becomes the next frontier. It also reframes public debate. Living to 122 is still a record. Pushing beyond 150 would require breakthroughs that go far beyond today's anti-aging treatments. We may live longer, healthier lives. We may stretch the average well past 100. But the study suggests a biological boundary near 194 years. That is not forever. It is a new horizon, and it tells science exactly where to aim next. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Social media has been buzzing with the new dating trend. It's basically to do with the month of August itself. Modern daters seem to attach a theory to every month of the year. The August theory, as it's being called, is gaining a lot of momentum and traction on social media. It essentially states that August is a make or break month when it comes to relationships. It's either about carefree summer flings turning serious or seemingly reaching their end. It's also about exes from the past reaching out ahead of autumn. For many, the August theory essentially makes this a month of reality checks. As summer vacations come to an end and people return to their hectic daily routines, many wish to trade their high dopamine summer freedom for more stable and grounded relationships and also emotional stability. The trend also pointing to past partners or casual flings seeking comfort or familiarity as the weather cools down. The key factor is that casual situationships now face a hard deadline. They can either normalize or formalize into real relationships or quietly fade away. Interestingly, the August theory comes after the June theory took flight in viral videos. It's a trend that claimed that June brings sudden romantic plot twists, either by sparking a new and intense relationship or by bringing an ex back into your life. But with August, it's now time for a reality check on the new romance of your life, perhaps. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.